So today what we're going to talk a little bit about is obviously you've gotten your images into your onto your canvas here, onto your Photoshop page. What we're going to talk about is doing some things to these to enhance the design. I talked a little bit about this in the last video, but I want to kind of go more in depth on this. So as you can see, I have all my images here and it looks good, but there's a lot more things that we can do to it to enhance it. One of the things that we want to do is obviously try to create some contrast. And creating contrast is, but you create that by creating things lighter and some darker to help set things back into the background and bring things forward. So to do that, some of the ways we can adjust contrast is obviously just by adjusting the contrast of an image, or by doing some cool filters to it. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of play around with some filters. So I'm going to actually go in and just make this, let's just throw a threshold on this. So I'm going to go to image on this boombox here. I'm going to go to image adjustments, threshold. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, play around with this till it kind of looks good, like that. Now obviously I can also adjust how light or dark it is. So image adjustments, brightness, contrast. I can make it brighter, I can make it darker. I could lower the contrast, crank the contrast, all those kinds of things. I could also adjust the opacity of it to have it kind of sink in a little bit. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and maybe make the guitar, where's the guitar? Because that's kind of sitting out. I'm going to go in and go maybe do like a, go filter gallery. Let's go, maybe we can do like a sketch on this. Or we could do like a pen sketch, stamp, plaster, torn edges. It's a little rough. I kind of like that. That looks kind of cool. Kind of like a crayon. I don't want to lose it too much. So I'm going to do that. Boom. So that looks kind of cool. I got that going. Do something with the headphones. I'm going to leave the microphone just because I like the way that that's kind of sitting there. I'm going to go ahead and make this record. I could do some things too, where if I go to right where it says normal, if I click that, I can actually do some stuff with blend modes, which is going to blend it into a background color a little bit. Might not work too well because mine's white, but if you actually go in, that one was kind of cool. That divide looks sweet. But as I change the background color, that's going to change with that. So I'll wait till I get my background color in. I'm going to go in and I'm going to threshold that record as well. So go to image adjustments, threshold, and this is just you as an artist kind of playing around, trying to see what's going to work with your designs, with your imagery. Perfect. That's kind of looking good. Nice, and I got some good contrast between the lights of the guitar and the boombox and the darks of that record. Now I'm going to add a background color in, and one thing we want to do is we don't want something dark. We want something kind of pastel and light. So I'm going to go down here to where you have the black and white cookie, which is going to create a new adjustment layer. I'm going to go up to solid color. And I'm going to choose I kind of want to go with like a light yellow grayish. Maybe something like that looks kind of cool. I'm going to put my record above that. Perfect. So I'm liking the way this is looking right now. This is looking pretty cool. One of the things that we can also do is start adding some elements to this, such as a texture or a pattern, some shapes, right? We want to add some artistic elements in here. So let's add a texture. So I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded. Let's see if I have one in my photographs. I do. Sweet. I have this awesome wire mesh texture, so I'm going to place that in. And one thing you want to look at as an artist is what we call repetition, repeating like shapes in an image, right? So if we look at this, I have some pretty similar shapes. I have a lot of circles, right? The record's a circle, the speaker on the boombox, the knobs on the guitar, and the circle on the headphones. So I'm going to repeat that. So I'm going to make this a circle selection. So I'll just go up to my ellipse tool here. I'm just gonna make a circular selection of this. I'll hit Control C to copy it, Control V to paste it. And then I'm gonna actually take this. Maybe I can make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, there we go. Because I don't want it the same size as the record, but I don't want it, you know, too big. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and now obviously I don't want to leave it like that to where you can't see anything behind it. So I might set it behind everything. I could lower the opacity of it. I could actually do like a blend mode where it blends into the background. That actually looks kind of cool. I kind of like the way that looks with the white, and it kind of balances out, lightens up the image. I'm going to leave that. That looks sweet. I might even reduce the opacity a little bit. There we go. So now what I could do is I could keep repeating that. So maybe we add, and what's cool about Photoshop now is they've added a shape section, kind of like Illustrator. So you can draw shapes. So I'm going to go to Ellipse. And once you draw a shape, it's going to add a new layer. So I'm going to draw another circle that's a little bit bigger here. And it brings up this menu where you can add color or a stroke. So I'm going to actually have no color. And I'm going to add a stroke to this. But I want it to be, this is where I'm going to start implementing a color. And I think I want to go with like a pink would be kind of cool. Click OK. So there's that. So I'm going to increase the stroke here. You can even change it from dotted, so like it's a dashed line or a dotted line. I kind of like the dashed line. That looks kind of cool. So then I have that to add into my collage. I might even bring that up so it sits on top. I don't know. Can play around with it. And this is when you just start kind of adding things, lines, shapes. And these are what we're talking about with enhancing that design a little bit. So maybe I'm gonna add a stripe going through the middle. I think that would be kind of cool. So I'm gonna grab my rectangle tool. And I'm just gonna draw a really thin rectangle that runs right down the middle. I'm going to actually make this no stroke, and I'm going to make this a pink fill. And I'm going to actually put this on top of everything. Reduce that opacity a little bit. Maybe I'll even set it in between some things so it kind of runs up and out and through some of those items. Just kind of like that. So now, as you can see, we're starting to change this and bring this to life a little bit. We're starting to add some things in here that are going to enhance this and bring this to life. One thing I want to do too is, since I'm going with this pink color scheme, I'm just going to start adding things that are pink in places. You know, I could take like a paintbrush on a new layer. Grab that pink color. You know, maybe I brush, do something like that over that. That could be kind of cool. I could even come in and selectively brush in certain areas to bring that color in. I could brush in over those 3 letters, right? You can do so many different things that could be pretty cool. I could even go up to my brushes here and get, if I go to special effects, there's some splatter brushes, which is kind of cool. Let's see what we got here. So we got like a spatter brush here. So I can make this even bigger. I can make this really big. Maybe I just add some of this. Boom. Just add some of that to it to kind of bring up that color, that texture. Maybe I change that from, instead of pink, why don't we make that to like a nice brown color? Something a little bit darker than what we have. I could set that back a little bit, reduce that, take that underneath everything so it's not taking away from my photos. Just like that. So as you can see, what we've started to do is really get artistic with our collage. So today what I want you to do is adjust the, the photographs, change the colors to black and white, change some of them to be different colors or hues. Start putting your collage together a little bit. We don't want all these different things happening. We want to bring it together. And we do that through filters. We do that through contrast. We do that by adding artistic elements like the texture that I've added, the dotted circle that I've added, and that nice line running through it. So some artistic elements and some things to help bring it to life. All right. So enjoy, have fun, and we'll see what you guys come up with.